If you think your cat simply doesn't like you, you might be making a huge mistake without even realizing it. The truth is, cats follow a secret code of behavior, and if you don't understand these rules, they'll never fully trust you. But don't worry, because today I'm going to reveal 10 scientifically proven ways to make any cat like you. And number 7 is so powerful it can turn even the most aloof cat into your best friend. In fact, studies show that most people make a big mistake when interacting with a cat for the first time, and that mistake could ruin your entire relationship with them. So stick around until the end, because once you learn technique number 3, you'll finally understand why your cat ignores you. Technique 1, the secret language of cats. Most people think cats are cold and distant, but the truth is, they just communicate in a completely different way than we do. Have you ever noticed that when two cats get along, they don't immediately rub against each other or start playing like dogs? Instead, they stare at each other and blink slowly. This means that if you look at a cat and blink slowly, it's like telling them, "I trust you." And if they blink back, that's a huge sign that they trust you too. Go ahead, try it with your cat and let me know in the comments if they blink back. You'll be surprised how well this works. Now, even if your cat trusts you, there's something that might be pushing them away. And it has nothing to do with your behavior. It's actually your smell. Technique 2, the scent of trust. Cats rely on their sense of smell far more than their vision. They form bonds based on scent, which is why they're always rubbing against things. They're marking their territory. So if you're trying to bond with your cat and they don't seem interested, it might be because they don't recognize you as part of their safe world. But there's a simple trick to fix this. Take a clean cloth, rub it gently on your cat's face, and then rub it on your hands. Sounds weird? Maybe, but it mixes your scent with theirs, making them see you as familiar and safe. But even if your cat starts recognizing your scent, there's one major mistake that can keep them from ever fully trusting you. Technique 3, respecting personal space. If there's one thing cats absolutely hate, it's when someone invades their space without warning. Have you ever tried picking up your cat, only for them to squirm out of your arms and run away? That's because for cats, interactions should always be on their terms, not yours. The best strategy? Sit on the floor, stay still, and ignore them for a while. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But in most cases, the cat will eventually approach you out of curiosity. And when they do, don't immediately reach out to touch them. Let them get comfortable first. And when they finally choose to interact with you, there's one small detail that can make all the difference: your voice. Technique 4, the voice that wins over a cat. A lot of people talk to cats the same way they talk to dogs, excited, loud, calling their name over and over. But that's actually a big mistake. Studies show that cats respond best to soft, lower tones. Why? Because in nature, high-pitched, loud sounds usually mean danger. So if you want your cat to feel at ease around you, try speaking in a calm, quiet voice. And here's a bonus tip. Whenever you feed your cat or interact with them, repeat a specific sound like a clicking noise or a short word. Over time, they'll associate that sound with positive experiences and feel even more comfortable with you. By the way, if you're enjoying these tips and want to learn more about cat behavior, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I've got plenty more helpful content coming soon. Now, if you've tried everything and your cat still avoids you, you might be making one of the biggest mistakes that push cats away without people even realizing it. Technique 5, the mistake that scares cats away. Have you ever been petting your cat and out of nowhere, they bite you or suddenly run off? It's not because they don't like you, it's just that you crossed their limit. Cats have a lower sensory threshold than dogs, meaning they get overstimulated much more quickly. The best way to avoid this? Pause between pets and watch their body language. If they start flicking their tail quickly or their ears go back, that's a clear sign that they're done. But what if I told you there's a way to pet your cat that they'll actually love and even ask for more? Technique 6, the secret spot for petting. If you've ever tried petting your cat and they pulled away, you might have touched the wrong spot. Most cats hate being touched on their belly because it's the most vulnerable part of their body. But there's one spot that almost all cats love, the base of their ears and under their chin. These areas contain scent glands that cats use to mark territory. So when you pet them there, it's naturally enjoyable for them. Want to test it out? Gently scratch your cat behind their ears or under their chin and watch their reaction. Most of the time, they'll start purring or leaning into your hand. Now, if you think petting is enough to win your cat's trust, wait until you learn the exact moment when they actually want to interact with you. Technique 7. The right time to interact. Imagine you're sleeping peacefully and suddenly someone shakes you awake just to chat. Annoying, right? Well, for cats, it's the same thing. One of the most common mistakes cat owners make is trying to interact at the wrong time. Many people call their cat when they're sleeping, eating, or focused on something else. But here's the thing, cats prefer interactions when they are ready, not when you decide it's time. So, when is the right moment? It's simple, when your cat is awake, relaxed, or watching you with curiosity. And if you've ever tried calling your cat and they completely ignored you, there's actually a technique that can change that forever. Technique 8, the invitation technique. Have you ever noticed that cats hate being forced into things? They prefer making their own decisions. Instead of picking up your cat or constantly calling them, try this. Sit near them or on the floor. Extend your hand and do nothing. If they come closer and rub against you, it means they trust you. This method makes your cat feel like they're choosing to interact rather than being pressured. And in their mind, that makes you a much more trustworthy person. Now, if you want your cat to always associate you with something positive, there's a trick that almost no one knows about. Technique 9, creating positive associations. Cats learn through associations. If every time they see you, something good happens, like getting food, getting pet, or playing, they'll start to actively seek you out. But here's the mistake people make, rewarding bad behavior. For example, if your cat meows excessively and you give them food just to keep them quiet, they'll learn that meowing is how they get what they want. Instead, reward the good behaviors and ignore the bad ones. That way, they'll associate being around you with something positive, without picking up annoying habits. But what if I told you that there's one ultimate sign of trust that a cat can give you? If you recognize this moment and handle it correctly, it can form an unbreakable bond. Technique 10, the ultimate sign of trust. Have you ever seen your cat lay on their back and expose their belly? This is one of the biggest signs of trust a cat can show. It means they feel completely safe around you. But here's the important part, it's not always an invitation to pet them. Most cats actually hate belly rubs because their stomach is their most vulnerable area. So what should you do? Nothing. Just let them relax. If they feel safe enough to do that around you, it's a huge win. And if you've made it this far, congrats, you now have the knowledge to form a deeper bond with any cat. Now that you know these 10 scientifically proven techniques, try them out and see what works best for your cat. But remember, every cat has its own unique personality, so patience is key. And if you enjoyed these tips and want more content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel.